if woman can survive.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special news bulletin.
In the grand mythology of rock and roll, we tend to worship longevity. The Beatles, the Stones, Dylan, Hendrix. These are the names etched into marble. But history is full of ghosts. Artists who came from nowhere, lit up the charts, and disappeared into the fog. Their names may be forgotten, but their songs, those flashes of brilliance, linger in our collective memory. The 1960s, in particular, produced a wave of one-hit wonders. It was a time of shifting genres, exploding youth culture, and changing technology. Radio was expanding. Television was shaping the image of stars. Record labels were taking bigger risks. And within that chaos, ordinary people, often kids in garages or unknown singers dragged into studios, created moments. One moment was all they needed. This is their story.
And they're coming to take me away. And coming to take me away, haha. They're coming to take me, haha. They're coming.
If you were alive in 1966 and turned on the radio, you might have thought you were hallucinating. Jerry Samuels, a recording engineer, crafted this deranged novelty record under the alias Napoleon XIV. It had no melody, no harmony, just pounding military drums, sped-up vocal effects, and manic laughter.
And they're coming to take me away, haha. They're coming to.
It was supposedly about a man losing his mind after heartbreak. But critics and mental health advocates called it offensive, saying it mocked the mentally ill. Some stations banned it outright. Still, the song hit number 3 on Billboard.
And they're coming to take. They're coming to take me away, haha. They're coming to away, haha. They're coming.
For a few weeks, Napoleon XIV was a household name. And then, just as suddenly, he vanished. Yet, the track's influence is strange and lasting. It predicted a kind of sound manipulation that experimental artists and even hip-hop producers would later adopt.
We're on the eve of destruction.
The mid-60s were turbulent. The Vietnam War was escalating. Civil rights marches filled American streets, and fears of nuclear annihilation lingered. Into this storm came Barry McGuire with Eve of Destruction. Originally written by 19-year-old P.F. Sloan, the song was a scathing protest anthem.
We're over again, my friend. We're on the eve of destruction.
McGuire recorded it in just one take, with his raw, gravelly voice sounding almost apocalyptic. It shot to number 1 on the Billboard charts. But backlash was immediate. Politicians denounced it as unpatriotic, DJs refused to play it, and McGuire himself struggled to escape its shadow.
We're on the eve of destruction.
He never had another major hit. Yet the song remains a landmark, a prelude to the protest rock of Dylan, Country Joe and the Fish, and even punk years later.
When I saw you walking down the street, I said that's the kind of gal. Come on, baby, give me your word. I wanna know it.
This was the song that brought the harmonica into rock and roll. Bruce Channel's Hey, Baby was pure, innocent fun, a playful love song with an unforgettable harmonica riff played by Delbert McClinton. That riff didn't just catch listeners. It inspired a young John Lennon, who later said it influenced his early Beatles harmonica work.
When I saw you walking down the street, I said that's the kind of gal.
The track hit number 1 in 1962. Channel toured the UK with a then-unknown Beatles as his opening act. But Channel himself? He faded from the charts.
When I saw you walking down the street, I said that's the kind of gal. Come on, baby, give me your word. I wanna know it.
Yet, the song refused to die. It's been revived in films, Dirty Dancing, Stadium Chants, and countless covers. Bruce Channel may have vanished, but his song became part of rock's DNA. Few songs scream 1960s summer like Wipe Out. The Surfaris were just California teenagers when they recorded it. They cut it in one session, with that iconic laugh at the start improvised in the studio. The drum solo became a rite of passage for every aspiring young drummer. The track exploded, reaching number 2 on the Hot 100. But the Surfaris never reached those heights again. Still, the cultural impact was massive. Surf rock became a global fad, influencing the Beach Boys and inspiring guitar bands as far away as Japan. Even today, Wipe Out is instantly recognizable, a teenage dream preserved in wax. Before the Beatles stormed America, one British group got there first. The Tornadoes' instrumental Telstar was named after the first communications satellite, and it sounded like the future. Its soaring organ line and space-age effects, produced by legendary and eccentric producer Joe Meek, made it the first UK song to hit number 1 on the US charts. Behind the scenes, though, things were messy. Joe Meek was a tortured genius, battling depression and legal troubles. He never lived to see his long-term influence on electronic music. The Tornadoes themselves faded quickly, but Telstar remains one of the most futuristic records of the 60s, a vision of space-age optimism. In 1969, revolution felt within reach. Woodstock was on the horizon. Students were protesting across the globe, and music was the weapon of choice. Thunderclap Newman, a band formed almost as a side project, recorded Something in the Air. Produced by Pete Townsend of The Who, it became an anthem of counterculture idealism. It hit number 1 in the UK, but the band quickly fell apart due to internal conflicts. Still, the track lives on, appearing in films, Almost Famous, and commercials. It remains one of the purest distillations of 60s utopian energy, one brief, shining revolution in song. Recorded in Los Angeles in a single late-night session, Rhythm of the Rain became one of the decade's most tender heartbreak ballads. With its lush harmonies and melancholy lyrics, it reached number 3 in the US and top charts overseas. The Cascades, however, couldn't follow it up. Decades later, the song found new life in films like Quadrophenia and covers by artists ranging from Gary Lewis to Dan Fogelberg. It's proof that one perfect ballad can outlast a career. When Astrud Gilberto stepped up to the microphone during a Gets/Gilberto recording session, she wasn't even supposed to sing. She was the wife of guitarist Joao Gilberto, brought in at the last minute to add English vocals. Her airy, almost accidental performance became legendary. The single sold millions, bringing Brazilian music to the global stage and winning a Grammy for Record of the Year. But for Astrud, it remained her one defining hit. Still, she became a symbol of cool, her voice forever associated with the sound of the 60s lounge era. Arthur Brown didn't just sing songs. He performed them like rituals. With his theatrical makeup, booming voice, and flaming helmet, he terrified and thrilled audiences. His single, Fire, soared to number 2 in the US. But the act couldn't last. Brown was too eccentric for mainstream rock. Still, Fire paved the way for shock rock and theatrical performers like Alice Cooper, Kiss, and Marilyn Manson. His flame burned briefly, but brightly enough to ignite future generations. Philadelphia Soul was just being born in the late 60s, and Expressway to Your Heart was one of its earliest hits. Written by Kenny Gamble and Leon Huff, who would later dominate the 70s soul scene, it showcased the horns and rhythms that became Philly's signature. The song reached number 4 on Billboard. The Soul Survivors, however, couldn't sustain momentum. But Gamble and Huff went on to shape acts like the O'Jays, Harold Melvin, and Teddy Pendergrass. So in a way, this one-hit wonder became the foundation of a golden era. The Hollies, Linda Ronstadt, and even Brian Ferry covered it, ensuring its immortality. Behind the scenes, Troy went on to sing backup for Pink Floyd, Rolling Stones, and Carly Simon. One hit for herself, but a voice that shaped many others. This was pure late 60s sunshine pop. Frontman Pat Upton poured his heart into the vocal, giving us one of the most enduring love songs of the decade. The song hit the top 20, but by the time it peaked, the band was already dissolving. Yet, it's lived far beyond them. Wedding playlists, commercials, and endless radio spins keep it alive. A one-hit wonder that became an eternal love letter.
I feel depressed, I feel so bad.
Garage rock at its rawest. Count 5 were teenagers from San Jose, California, with barely enough material for an album. But Psychotic Reaction captured the fuzz-drenched, rebellious sound of proto-punk before punk even had a name.
I feel depressed, I feel so bad.
It hit the top 5 in 1966. Lester Bangs, the legendary rock critic, later mythologized it in his essays, calling it a blueprint for an alternate history of rock.
I feel depressed, I feel so bad.
Count 5 never followed up, but their one hit inspired countless garage bands, from the Stooges to the White Stripes. Sometimes innocence cuts deepest. Rosie Hamlin was just 15 when she recorded Angel Baby. Her fragile, heartfelt voice, recorded on a shoestring budget, struck listeners like lightning. The song hit number 5 on Billboard. But Rosie never repeated the success. In fact, she struggled with the industry's exploitation of young artists. Still, her single became a cult classic, later covered by John Lennon, who called it one of his all-time favorites.
You know, bro, there's just something special about the sound of a classic rock album on vinyl. It's how these albums were originally meant to be heard, the warmth, the crackle, and the ritual of dropping the needle on the record. It's an experience that digital just can't recreate. And if you've ever wanted to dive into that classic vinyl sound, but didn't know where to start, I've got you covered. I've been checking out this Victrola Bluetooth portable suitcase turntable. It's the perfect way to get into vinyl. You just pop it open, put on a masterpiece like Led Zeppelin's 4 or Pink Floyd's The Dark Side of the Moon, and let the needle drop on that legendary groove. The best part is, it's a suitcase design, so you can literally take your rock and roll vibes anywhere. You can move it from your bedroom to the living room, or even take it to a friend's place. And it even has Bluetooth, so you can stream music from your phone when you're not spinning records. It's the best of both worlds. This is a great starting point for any fan who wants to feel the foundation of rock lore in a whole new way. If you're interested in grabbing one for yourself, I've put a link to it in the description below. Clicking that link and buying one is an awesome way to support the channel and help us keep bringing you more deep dives into the music we all love. So go check it out, and let's get back to the countdown.
In the won't need no wife. 45 ain't gonna need no husband. 45. You pick.
The decade ended with one of the strangest one-hit wonders ever. In the year 2525 was a dystopian prophecy set to folk rock melody. Each verse leapt 1,000 years into the future, imagining a world where machines replace humans, where love and birth are controlled by technology, and where humanity fades into extinction.
Today, in the year 45.
It hit #1 in both the US and UK, a rare feat, and then silence. Zager and Evans never charted again.
In the year need no husband, won't need no 65. Ain't gonna need 45.
But their lone hit endures as one of the most chilling songs of the 60s, foreshadowing debates about AI, genetics, and technology that still haunt us today. The journey doesn't end here, Rock Warrior. Watch this next.